Let me talk to you.
The biggest icon in wrestling.
Yeah. Let me talk to you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Let Me Talk to You, episode 34. Again, my name is Frankie Fresco, and my brother next to me, DiTrapio. What's up, bro? How you been, man?
What's up, brother? Another day, another blessing, man.
Nice, absolutely, sir. So it's always good to be able to do the show with you. And guys, as you come on in, don't forget to go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate people coming in little by little. And of course, the first hater of the building, of course, official DJ Memo saying the Colombian Cryberries. But we're Cryberries all day, sir. We go ahead and we represent Colombia to the fullest. So you can call us what you want, but that won't affect us, sir. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about our rundown of what's going to happen tonight. So we're going to go ahead and have NXT. We'll do a quick recap of what happened in NXT. Very exciting second week of the Great American Bash. So that was good to see. Oh, Finn Sammy, welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining in. We're also going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the Dolphins. I got a couple of good things to show you guys. I got a couple of things to show you, like as far as like, should we be concerned, right? We're also going to talk about FIU. There was some big news that came out. FIU stand up. We got a couple of things we're going to show out there for you guys. I think it's going to be good for you guys to see. My brother's an FIU grad, so absolutely showing some love to FIU. I am a UF grad, but that doesn't mean I don't represent FIU. I actually went to FIU I took a couple classes in FIU as well when I was in college. So I represent as well FIU, big fan of FIU. And then we'll end up the show with some Olympic talk and maybe some soccer. I think we got some soccer news as well. So it should be good to go. But let's go ahead and let's start first and foremost with week number 2 of the Great American Bash NXT, sir. Let me ask you first and foremost, before we get the recap, what did you think? Did you watch it? Did you see some highlights? Did you see what was going on? Or you had no idea what happened? And you're just finding out today when I go ahead and I inform you of what happened.
So I've been trying to get on top of NXT. I've been trying to tune in. Not lie to you, did not watch the live showing, but I did see the highlights.
Hey, highlights is better than nothing, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie. I always tune in. I'm always tuning into NXT. And if you don't know about NXT, or you just saw the highlights, or you want to get to know a little bit more of NXT, that's why we have our NXT recap. We basically tell you what happened the day before, right? Because NXT happened yesterday. So, of course, if it's a little bit harder because obviously this has been the second week that they're at Sci-Fi, but they started off with a bang, and that was, of course, Trick Williams going one-on-one against Pete Dunne. And Pete Dunne, man, pulling the upset, defeating Trick Williams at, the Great American Bash. I wasn't expecting this. I honestly thought, Trick Williams always had a momentum, but if there's one person that you're going to go ahead and allow to defeat Trick Williams, it's Pete Dunne, because Pete Dunne is in the main roster too. And remember, he was having some feud with Sheamus. Don't know if that will continue on the main roster, but at least in the NXT world, by Pete Dunne beating Trick Williams, it now solidifies that maybe Pete Dunne is the next guy up to go one-on-one and challenge the NXT champion, Ethan Page. Sir, talk to me, man. Pete Dunne, you think Pete Dunne deserves to go ahead and become the #1 contender for the NXT belt, or should they run it back and see if maybe Trick Williams ties it up 1-1 and then have a third and final decisive match?
I'm not gonna lie to you. There's been a lot of twisting and turning with all these storylines coming from Raw, SmackDown, not to NXT, throwing these curveballs. They really know how to time these wrestling, curveballs and stuff like that. So honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't be surprised if they give Pete Dunne the opportunity. This gives more of Trick Williams kind of like a redemption type of storyline, and it will help solidify Ethan Page's title run even more when you have someone like Pete Dunne coming in. And I don't think Pete Dunne would be able to beat Ethan Page, but it solidifies Ethan Page's authority as a champion, and then maybe you'll see Trick Williams in the mix and that again, and it just excites everyone else. So I think this is a good move, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Absolutely. I also feel the same way. I think they're going to run this back. I don't think it's going to be the end of Pete Dunne and Trick Williams. I think they're going to run it back. I think Trick Williams will get the second win because during the show, Pete Dunne was, I'm sorry I didn't mention this to you, Nick, but Pete Dunne did went ahead and was talking crap, saying, hey, I'm ready. I should I should go for the #1 contender. And then obviously Trick Williams attacked him backstage. So there's a very good chance that they're going to go ahead and go one-on-one again and run it back. That way, when they go and they run it back, they could do a third match, and then either they'll do one out of two things. They're either going to go ahead and do a triple threat match with Ethan Page, or the winner of that third match would go up against Ethan Page. And the reason we say that they would go against Ethan Page is because last night, Ethan Page actually went ahead and defended his belt. He defended his belt against Metaphor's Oral, and he won, sir. So after this whole controversy, the last couple of weeks where Ethan Page was not, was getting pinned left and right by Oral, finally, when it counted, Ethan Page went ahead and delivered. And of course, we got Ethan Page winning and defending his NXT belt. So good showing by Oral, not bad at all. Ethan Page still remains champion. So we really, really are excited about the fact that we might just go ahead and get either Trick Williams or this guy. I just lost my brain of thought.
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne. So we're either gonna have one of those two go against Ethan Page. Sorry, guys. I like when I'm doing this, I'm pulling in visuals and at the same time talking, and then obviously I try to multitask here. Another thing that happened last night was, of course, the NXT North American Women's Champion, and that was not only Kalani Jordan gone ahead and defended her belt. She actually won as well. So it was nice to see Kalani Jordan. Now, again, Nick, I'm there's certain wrestlers that in NXT that I don't like follow as much, because sometimes when I watch these fights, I kind of look at them and be like, who the hell is this girl? But there's been like this controversial NXT type of wrestler, and it's this I forgot her name. I don't know what her name is, but obviously she defeated Paxley. But is a girl, Wendy Chu. Is it Wendy Chu? Yes, Wendy Chu. That is her name, Wendy Chu. So Wendy Chu, if you don't know who she is, she's like a creepy looking wrestler who follows Kalani Jordan, and she's been following her the last couple of weeks. And have you heard of this Wendy Chu, sir? Or you have no idea who this is?
I have no idea who this is, but I saw their highlights, and I liked one part where this girl's like, yo, I guess she goes under the ring, and then when she looks under the ring, I don't know if this is the same match. Is this the same match where she looks under the ring and it's like a little doll? And then
yes, there is. Yes.
And then she comes out of the other side of the ring, and then she spears her.
I don't think she speared her. Or maybe she
or she
I think she like choked her out or something. I think that's
she went on the lower body. She went like lower body, knee area.
Okay,
it was so funny.
So you guys, and again, I like showing you guys visuals as much because a lot of you guys don't watch NXT. So if we're gonna recap NXT, I want you guys to notice some of these wrestlers. And again, like I said to you guys, some of these wrestlers I don't follow as much because I don't find too interested. But I like this angle, and that's who it is right there. So that's Wendy Chu, or Wendy Chow, I guess, whichever way you pronounce her name. She's the creepy looking girl that apparently he's been following. I'll zoom in a little bit, and you see how she is. Obviously, after the match, she had given a doll to Jordan Paxley, and then all of a sudden she attacked her, and of course, Kalani Jordan looks freaked out. Is that the same chick that you were looking at, Nick? Was that the one that you
Yeah,
saw?
that was the same fight. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the same.
so she's been freaking people out. Like I mean, I've been watching her a couple times, and I'm like, who is this girl? But I finally said, okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna sit down and actually watch what the hell she's doing. And apparently, she's like a creepy girl that is like following Kalani Jordan. So I'm assuming she's probably gonna be the next person in line to face Kalani Jordan, or maybe she's just stalking her, giving her that mysterious type of stalker type of vibes. And of course, this picture I have that I was able to take is actually where her eyes open. But there's other photos of her where her eyes, and I'm trying to zoom in, her eyes are even like reversed. So it's kind of creepy, bro. Like even looking at it right now, it creeps me the
She's
hell out.
giving me Pennywise type of eyes, like from.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Let's get her off the screen, bro. That's already scaring me. So obviously, I think that's where they're gonna go with Kalani Jordan. I think they're gonna go that route, and I think that's kind of the route they're gonna do. The next thing we wanted to go ahead and talk about is, of course, our boy. When you say his name, he appears. Sure, right? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, we're not gonna go ahead and play the song and play the video, but we are definitely gonna go ahead and show, of course, what happened. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. It was Joe Henry facing against Joe Coffey from for what they did to him last week, and while he was conducting his I guess you could say his concert, which was going really good. Everybody was waving their hands and all that stuff. It was amazing. It was a great concert until Joe Coffey went ahead and screwed him over. But on a positive note, Joe Henry finally gets his first victory in the NXT world. And remember, Joe Henry is a
Really, is
TNA
his
guy.
first match?
This was his first victory in the NXT world. So he finally gets a dub, which is a big part because if you kind of look at it, and correct me if I'm wrong, the only two people I've seen win that are from TNA in an NXT programming is Jordan Grace and now Joe Henry. I don't think I've seen anybody else. I mean, you've seen Frankie Kazarian come here and there, but nobody else from TNA has actually won a match in the NXT programming. So it's a big, big thing for Joe Henry. And keep in mind, after the match was over, Joe Henry went all out and actually went and said, look, this is not going to be the last time you see from me. I'm actually going to go ahead and be more involved in the NXT world. So it looks like we're going to get way more Joe Henry than what a lot of us expected. And again, it's interesting how this NXT TNA collaboration is working. It's interesting because they've asked Triple H. They asked Triple H at SummerSlam about it, and he didn't want to reveal too much. So it looks like what's gonna happen eventually is I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even Joe Henry finds a way to win a belt in the NXT world. I think they're going to be crossing over a lot more to the point where I think they might even exchange belts. And I don't think it hurts NXT wrestlers. And I definitely does not hurt TNA. I think TNA is going to benefit from this, especially because what's going to happen eventually to NXT starting on October. But let me ask you, sir, what did you think? Do you think NXT did the right thing of giving Joe Henry a victory?
He's the hype, and he continues being the hype. And WWE is always sourcing out the next wave of fans that are following a specific wrestler, and obviously it's Joe Hendry, man. I mean, one of the best parts of that match was that he turned around and then the camera kind of like zoomed out, and then he kind of like once he turned around, he kind of did the same thing as like his music video. It zooms into him, and then he does a clothesline on Joe Coffey, and it's like, holy crap, they really are putting effort to this guy. Even the cameraman is trying to give him that type of spotlight shot, those action shots. And so honestly, man, I'm up for it. I honestly feel like he won't win an NXT belt or any belt until he's a TNA champion. Once he's a TNA champion, then he can be like, hey, I'm the best in TNA. Let me cross over and maybe win something. I don't know if he will ever win a belt, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like he wins a match where the belt is not on the line, or he gets disqualified for because someone else interfered or something. You get me? But I don't know if they'll ever give him the NXT belt yet.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. He also had a slick move in the match. So what he did was he went ahead and gave the chair to one of Joe Coffey's I guess crew members. And what he did is, instead of actually hitting them, for me, I thought Joe Henry was gonna do is throw the chair to them and then do a drop kick. But instead of doing a drop kick, what he did was, and this was outside the ring, he gives him the chair and then he lays on top of the commentator desk and then starts acting like like if he got hurt. And then the other guy went and is about to hit him, and then that's when the referee sees it and he kicks them both out. And that gave, obviously, it leveled out because Joe Henry was obviously outnumbered for that match. So it allowed it to just be Joe Henry versus Joe Coffey.
Now, is
Fight
that a baby face move or is that a heel move?
from Joe Henry, I mean, that's typically a heel move, but right now the fans just love Joe Henry to the point where I think he could do anything he wants, and the people are just gonna go ahead and go roll with it. And that's the beauty thing about wrestling. I don't think sometimes a wrestler isn't the one who makes the decision as to who is the heel and who is the baby. Sometimes it's us, the fans. And at this point, like you said, Joe Henry is just on a different level when it comes to like who they think about him. They love seeing him. He brings a different aura. Everything that he does is just working for NXT and for TNA. So it's only going to benefit him. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see. And the reason I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen with NXT and this TNA collaboration is because in October, ladies and gentlemen, NXT moves away from the USA Network and now they jump into the CW network. And what did WWE do? Of course, the man of the hour, Mr. Triple H, throws this. Bam, right here. Impact for all you guys. The
Wow.
first show in NXT on
Wow.
the CW will be on the road. It would be in Chicago, October the 1st. And not only are they going to be in Chicago, but then also you will have CM Punk in attendance. He will show up at NXT that Tuesday. Then again, Triple H just being smart with his way of promoting NXT, especially since it's going into a different network. Now they're going a second show to St. Louis, the hometown of Randy Orton. And there you go, sir. You got Randy Orton showing up. So what they basically did is they figured this out. They say, hey, look, we're taking it to the road. We need to sell tickets. We don't know exactly if there's a big fan base that could sell a regular NXT show. We've seen that they're able to do it when it comes to their pay-per-views or their live events, but you don't know if they're going to get it from a regular NXT show. So they were smart about it strategically, and they brought in CM Punk for the first show and Randy Orton for the second show. Now, there hasn't been any confirmation if they're going to go ahead and do more shows outside of the Performance Center in Orlando. Shawn Michaels has come on record saying that they are going to be obviously coming back to Orlando, but I think they're testing waters, Nick. They're trying to figure out if this is going to work out, if they're going to have enough fans who actually attend the Allstate Arena Enterprise Center to see a regular NXT show. And then, of course, you got to set it because CW is the next, it's their first shows. So you want to get fans invested and watch the CW. And what's a better way than to bring two amazing stars from the main roster into NXT? What do you think about Shawn Michaels and obviously Triple H making this move for obviously the two NXT shows approaching in the CW in October?
I think it's a smart announcement. I think it's a smart way of engaging the crowd. Obviously, from the big show, honest, going down to the NXT, it's giving out, a tryout for other fans that normally don't tune into NXT. And I think bringing those fan bases that typically watch Raw and SmackDown on a regular basis, I'll be surprised if they don't tune into NXT. And now with this type of marketing approach and this type of engagement that Triple H wants to grab, I think it's a smart move. WWE usually doesn't miss, and having to throw out hometown heroes like CM Punk in Chicago and Randy Orton in St. Louis, I think right now it's a good move, especially that sports around that time are back in action too. You got NBA going on at the same time, you got football going on at the same time, you got college football going on at the same time.
Good point.
You have so many other sports out there. That you may have to throw in, a big star or two in order to grab that engagement. So smart move from WWE, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, and all the other EVPs out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think at the end of the day, what they did with this is a great move. It allows the fans to, if you don't know NXT, you at least know CM Punk, and you definitely know Randy Orton, and they're in their hometowns. You know that when CM Punk goes to Chicago, the Chicago crowd goes wild, and same thing would happen with Randy Orton. So I think it's smart. Let's say I'm the casual fan and I have no idea what I'm getting from NXT, just being able to go see either CM Punk if I live in Chicago or Randy Orton in St. Louis, I would possibly go and purchase a ticket. And keep in mind, these tickets are probably going to be not as expensive as like a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown. So it would be pretty cool to see, you could see one of these two guys for probably tickets going for like about $25, $30, and pretty decent seats too. So it's a great strategy. It's a great move. And then, of course, it's a great way for NXT to be promoted in the CW, because at the end of the day, you don't have that same audience. Now you got to kind of work your way and try to gain that audience again, because they've been in USA for such a long time. So great move, obviously, by Shawn Michaels and staff, and let's see how it goes. As you saw on
Did it?
the what were you
Sorry,
gonna say?
sorry. Didn't isn't it the Heat or the Panthers or the Marlins now that are going to be playing in CW too, or where?
I'm not sure. I think I would have to Google it, but I'm not sure. If you
Because
want to,
remember the Marlins no longer show Bally Sport. They don't show Marlins game in Bally Sports anymore. So I'm wondering if CW would grab that.
well, if we're talking the Marlins, right now I have kind of like a riff with the Marlins. I'm not even checking them out at all, so I have no idea about the Marlins. And to be honest with you, I really don't care. But
Sir, you stick with them in the good, and you stick with them in the bad.
I mean, I'm never saying that I'm not a Marlins fan. I'm still gonna be a Marlins fan for life. I just don't agree with a lot of their moves that they've been doing. So why am I gonna support a team, or at least not a team, but I guess management, for all their freaking decisions to just get rid of all their good players? I mean, how are you gonna gain fans from that? You're losing fans. You're losing me. I mean, I'll still watch them from time to time, but are you gonna see me running over to the Marlins Park and go see the Marlins? Absolutely not. I mean, they could be giving out free jerseys for all I care. I'm not going over there and promoting that, because it just I don't promote teams that love to do fire sales, and the Marlins, of course, don't stop doing that. So I'm not gonna promote that. I don't know about you. Maybe you want to go, but I'm not promoting that crap. I wouldn't go to a Marlins game because of that. I hate fire sales. They're gonna have to gain my confidence again, and my loyalty to them. I mean, I'm still gonna root for them. I'm a Miami Marlins fan, but I'm not gonna go ahead and support them. At least not this season. Maybe next season when it's a brand new season. But as of right now, no, you're not. Especially when you trade away my favorite player, Josh Chisholm. He was my favorite player on the team. So sorry. Um, Tickets for those two events do go on sale August the 15th. So if you guys are interested, anybody tuning in from the Chicago area or St. Louis area, you're more than welcome to go ahead and purchase them through Ticketmaster. And of course, the last thing we were going to talk about, we usually don't talk too much about NXT, but a lot of things happened because it was a bash, the Great American Bash. We had Axiom defending the belts against the Rascals, and of course Nathan Frazier and Axiom won, and they retained the tag team belts, which also happened is crazy, is that Chase U will be going ahead and challenging them next week for those same tag team belts. But here's the catch, Nick. Here's the catch. Chase U is gonna be going ahead and challenging the tag team champions, but it ain't gonna be the two consistent uh wrestlers of Chase U. This time around, it's gonna be Chase U, but it's not gonna be. Let me hold on. I forgot. I always forget their name sometimes. It's gonna be Chase U. It's not gonna be Duke Hudson. So Duke Hudson, who's typically the guy who's always on the tag team, going for the tag team belts and trying to win it with Chase. Um, he's not gonna be going ahead and defending it. Andre Chase, and it's gonna be Andre Chase, and now the guy who has been pushing Chase U to I mean, he gave Thea the opportunity to go for the main belt against Roxanne Perez. He gave Duke Hudson the opportunity to go for the NXT North American belt, and he lost it. So this time around, it's actually going to be Rich Holland. Rich Holland is teaming up with Andre Chase, and they will go ahead and challenge these two for the belt next week, which, in my opinion, Nick, I'm getting the Judgment vibes again. Here's the Judgment vibes. It looks like we're going to go ahead and start seeing some riff in the Chase U campus, where Duke Hudson is now probably going to I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he does something. Now, I honestly feel that Chase U is going to win the belts, because they've been, pushing this for quite some time. Mistakes by Axiom and Nathan Frazier. They had another spot where they accidentally kicked one another in their face, and it almost cost them the belt. So I feel that they've been, trying to sell us that they're going to break up, and I think this is the right move, because once they break up, Chase U now will be the champions, and then Rich Holland, and what's up, no doubt, Rich Holland will now be able to go ahead and kind of lead Chase U, which will create a rift with Duke Hudson, because obviously Duke Hudson has always been with Andre Chase, like his right hand man. Those guys have always been together. So now you could create some tension between those guys throughout and prolong that storyline. Do you feel that that's what's going to happen? Do you feel that maybe Chase U has a shot at winning this? Or do you honestly feel they're going to still keep selling us this whole Axiom and Nathan Frazier tag team?
I think they're gonna still continue this whole Axiom Frazier frenzy, but eventually I see those guys leaving, man. I see those guys actually being the next tag team champions in a bigger roster. I really do feel like WWE really likes this pair of wrestlers, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go on to the main roster in the next few months. To be honest with you, that's just me though.
Maybe they'll draft somebody from maybe they'll draft them over to one of the main rosters, and they feel like maybe that will be the next step for those two guys. I mean, they've been holding the belts for quite some time, so they must really like them. Now let's talk about the big thing that also happened, which was Nathan Frazier and Axiom won, and they beat the Rascals. But here is where the controversy happens. You finally get the return of Wes Lee being a heel. So Wes Lee is now turned his back on the Rascals and went ahead and knocked them both out, walked out. He actually had like a little scrum afterwards in social media where he's like pissed off. He doesn't want to deal with it. Nick, talk to me then. Do you think they did the right thing? Do you think this was the right move for NXT to make Wes Lee betray the Rascals? And do you see Wes Lee making his way to TNA and probably even fighting the Rascals in TNA?
Yeah, I think from a fan's perspective, I don't know. I'm not liking how they're just like it feels like, he's not working as a baby face. Let's turn him into a heel. Oh, it's not working as a heel. Let's turn him into a baby face. It's like they're kind of like dragging him in a direction where people are gonna be like, yo, we're feeling this wrestler. But I don't know. I just feel like it's being rushed. However, this is gonna help TNA in the near future. So smart move, but I don't know. I just feel like, me personally, when I saw him turn into heel, I felt like it was forced, right? And let's see where it goes from here. But in my eyes, I think it felt a little forced, but I like the idea. It's always good to see a good heel like Wesley.
I mean, I think what was happening is what you said. I think for a minute there, Wesley and the whole Rascals reunion was pretty cool. It was a cool thing that they did, but you also kind of getting Shawn Michaels showing, hey, hold on a second. This is not a collaboration. This is us doing storylines with TNA. And what better way to do a storyline than having Wesley betray the Rascals? This opens up the door so much for them to go ahead and have fights both in the NXT programming and the TNA programming, and especially since Wesley has been wrestling in the TNA shows as well. So I think this was the right move to make. Maybe for you it felt a little bit rushed, but I think this was the best thing they could have done. I think people enjoyed the reunion for just a minute, but now it's time to release Wesley and allow him to take over and forget about his old friends and show them that, hey, you know what? I'm bigger than the Rascals right now, and I
I don't know. He
deserve.
just he just makes me feel like a bootlegged Carmelo right now. I don't know. It's just me.
Well, sir, a bootlegger Carmelo went. I mean, a Carmelo went all the way to the main roster, so maybe that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get to
I
that main roster,
guess.
just
I
like
guess
everybody else.
it just didn't smack the same, bro. It just didn't. I mean, it was a shocking move, but I don't know. It just felt forced.
Well, we'll see, man. We'll see where they go with this. I liked it. I thought that was smart of them, and we'll definitely keep monitoring what's the next step and what happens, especially in the TNA side, because I thought that was pretty cool. So, amazing! Thank you, Kamiyan, for following us on Twitch, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you for watching us. All right, sir. Next, let's go ahead and start talking a little bit about sports, and of course, what a better way to start than, of course, with our Miami Dolphins. Friday, sir, we have our first game. It's finally officially here, football season. I know it's a preseason game, but we're excited because we actually get to see some football. Sir, you and me will be out there. There's a reason why I'm out there. It's August 9th. That is also the day of my birthday. So I will be celebrating my birthday out there at Hard Rock Stadium. So if any of you guys are going to the preseason game, don't forget to shout me out and let me know if if you guys are actually at the game. It will be pretty cool to go ahead and have you say what's up to me over there, especially since it's my birthday. And if you guys know more than I do, if you guys figure out a way of letting me know how my name can show up on the big, TV screen saying, "Hey, happy birthday, Frankie." Let me know. If one of you guys have done that, let me know how that's done. Because I mean, I don't care. I have to do it for myself, but still, I think that would be cool to see my name up there. And I wouldn't want it to be Franco Menares. I want them to put DJ Frankie Fresco birthday. That's what I want them to do. I don't want them to put I want them to put as Frankie Fresco. That way, when I take a photo of it, or if I take a video of it, I could put it on this podcast, and you guys could go ahead and take a look at it and be like, "Holy snap, that's Frankie right there!" And all you guys who are at the Hard Rock will be like, "Oh, look, it's Frankie. He's actually got his name up there." I gotta figure that out. So if any of you guys know, Finn, Sammy, if you know, I know you got that connection over there with the Dolphins. Let me know if you know how that's done. How is that collaborated, or who do I speak to in order for them to be able to put my name up there? Anyways, let's talk Dolphins, right? So let's have a little bit of fun. And thank you, no doubt, and thank you, Finn, Sammy. I know you guys threw the little happy birthday right there, so that's pretty cool. And then obviously, no, happy almost birthday, old man. I know, but please don't remind me, sir. I am going to the 4th level, so it's a little bit rough. But my best friend's birthday is the 8th. I won't forget yours now. I have something to refer. Okay, cool, awesome, man, awesome, and thank you, Sammy. Yeah, man. If you have something you can check out for me, let me know. It'll be pretty cool. All right, so Nick, let's start with some funny stuff, right? Let's start with some funny stuff. because we're gonna get into some Dolphin talk, but usually what the fans want to hear is negativity, right? Misery loves company, right? So there is some concerns, and we were talking about this before we went on. And but before we do that, I want to give a special shout out. And the special shout out is for our guy Josh Rosen. So if you don't know who Josh Rosen is, Josh Rosen is he's like a comedian, and he actually came last night to the Squared Circle Digest chat board, and he showed us a little bit of love. So because he showed us a little bit of love, I wanted to show a little bit of love to Josh Rosen, not the quarterback. Okay, let me clarify that. He's not the quarterback. He's actually a comedian. His name is actually Josh Rosen. So Josh Rosen. So that's his name. But the reason why I want to show him a little bit of love is because he had something very, very funny to do. Sir, have you seen what Josh Rosen did?
Nah, this is fresh live reaction.
Okay, perfect. So this is good. If you guys haven't seen, I want you guys to see it. This is really good. This is Josh Rosen. And remember, Josh Rosen, this is related to the Dolphins. So let me see if you guys can hear it. I hope you guys can. Let's try it out. Here we go. Oh, no.
Don't have the I do have the app, Reek, me and Reek.
Hi, good morning. What can I make for you? 24. 24.
Dude, hello?
That's Mike. I'm sorry, what was that?
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What can I make?
Okay, me and Reek are working on new plays. I'd like a corn muffin toasted.
A corn muffin warmed?
Warmed, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a pulse?
A who?
A pulse?
A pulse? What's that?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And just the muffin.
So just a corn muffin warmed?
Just the corn muffin warmed.
Just a corn muffin warmed. What else can I make for you today? Something to drink?
No, I actually already have a drink, but...
Okay, you want a donut to go with it?
I appreciate it, but Tua is watching his cholesterol.
Tua is watching his cholesterol?
Yeah.
Okay. What about, okay. A corn muffin it is. All right.
All right, thank you.
All right. Please move forward.
Thank you.
All right, so that was, of course, Josh Rosen. If you guys didn't realize it, copying our coach,
That
Mike
was good,
McDaniel.
man. That was good.
That was actually really freaking good. I thought he did a phenomenal job with that, man. So that was really cool, man. He did
That was really good.
that was really cool. So if you guys don't know Josh Rosen, follow him on all social media platforms on X. And again, his tag Josh Rosen. So literally Josh Rosen, Rosen. And if you don't know it, just go to my X page and you will see I reposted his actual video, the same exact video. I reposted it for you guys. So that was pretty cool to have there for.
So Tua's recording his cholesterol. He's taking care of his cholesterol.
He is, sir. He is. So it was good, man. It was good. I love the fact that he was like, so you want that? And what else do you want? And he's like, yeah. Which he nailed it. He literally nailed it.
Yeah, I know true Dolphin fans watch this show, and you got to know that when you want to listen to Mike McDaniel, you got to put the speed of the video to 1.25, and it's the sweet spot because it allows Mike McDaniel to sound like he's, fluent with his, his conversation or the thought process he wants to, point out. So he takes a while to really deliver the message. So
he really
that's
does.
funny, man.
And I think that's why Josh did a phenomenal job copying him because, his stuttering. I mean, I don't know if Mike McDaniel does it on purpose, but at least It's funny, and I think he nailed it on it. So that was pretty cool. To start, I guess, in a good form, the Dolphins segment. I'm bringing some more good and funny news here. More good than funny, obviously. And it's been announced, sir. It's been announced, sir. Here it is. Check it out. Dan. So on Thursday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins will be wearing their throwback jerseys. And then, of course, on November the 28th against the Green Bay Packers, Thanksgiving, they're bringing the throwback jerseys. So now I will say this, Nick, when we do our last pre. Actually, no, it'll just be our pre-prediction, right? Because we already did a couple of them. We did two already. We're waiting on a third one. This could play a big factor, man. I think when the Dolphins wear throwbacks, it actually helps them out a lot. I gotta look at their record and see how they actually fare when they wear throwback jerseys. Maybe they have a winning record. I have to look at that. I don't know. I don't know if Nick. Do you know? Do you know if they have a winning record when they go throwbacks?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's two primetime games, and I'm just excited for that. Show me the money game on Thanksgiving, bro.
Show that is to show me the money game, of
Show me
course.
the money game.
That
I
is
don't
the
know if you
show.
guys tuned in last week, but my brother and I we named this game "Show Me the Money" game. You know, Love is
Yeah,
getting paid out there. Tua's getting paid out there. Show me the money, bro.
that's
Show
a
me the money.
That's a very, very good name for that Thanksgiving. Show me the money game. It'll be definitely even more exciting because the Dolphins are going to use their throwback jerseys for us to check them out. So real cool of them. But now let's talk about a couple things that happened. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins, they restructured Tyreek Hill's contract. It opened up some of it. It opened up some cap for us for this year. So wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about this. So basically, first and foremost, Tyreek Hill's cap for this year is gonna hit us at 18.4 million. Next year it'll hit us for 31 million. The issue here is after those 2 years, it drastically jumps up to 55 million. So keep in mind, Tyreek Hill also got fully guaranteed 106.5 million in this whole contract that he originally signed with the Dolphins. So this is the most ever guaranteed for a wide receiver. So talk to me, man. Did the Miami Dolphins do the right thing? Restructuring his contract in order to relieve us with some cap room. Do you think this is the right move? Or do you think they should have just let it ride out and then done something different?
I think this is just Chris Greer throwing all the chips. He's going all in, man, and he's gonna bite the bullet. And right now, obviously the stats from last year offensively, they don't lie. Numbers don't lie. And Tyreek caught for 1,800 yards. Tua was the most passing yard quarterback in the whole league. Why break that chemistry? Let's ride that wave. Let's continue working what's working. And I think Chris Greer and company are just gonna bite the bullet because obviously we're gonna still be paying Tyreek even after he's no longer a Dolphin. It's not gonna be a lot, but we're still gonna be paying him. So I think this is Chris Greer and Steven Ross kind of saying, "Hey, man, we're going all out, and these next 2-3 years is pretty much, I guess you can say, the window that we're shooting for when it comes to winning a Super Bowl."
Yeah, man. No doubt it does. So it's the whole actual contract when you add it all up from day one. That's what they did. They guaranteed his money. So what my brother is saying, I agree with you. I think what the Dolphins are doing here is obviously they secured an asset in Tyreek Hill. I think this gives us 2 years to work with Tyreek Hill, right? We got those 2 years because I think that $55 million year of 2026 is going to be interesting to see what they do with that. If they're going to go ahead and keep it or if they're going to go ahead and actually try to restructure it. I'm not sure if they're allowed to restructure it again. Or maybe they do a contract extension. I'm not sure. I don't know the whole details of what's the next step that they could take, but at least it guarantees us that Tyreek Hill is going to be with us probably for the next 2 years. And also keep in mind, it's good to have a happy Tyreek Hill, right? Kind of like a happy Tua, kind of like a happy Waddle. It's good to see these guys get paid because I remember at one point in time we all said, "Hey, look, there's a chance that the Dolphins might get a bad rep for not signing their stars. They let Christian Wilkins walk. They let a couple of other guys walk, which we not all of them we draft. I mean, Van Ginkel we also draft, but
Robert Hunt.
um Robert Hunt. So we let some of these guys walk, and we didn't go ahead and keep them. So it could have been a bad look for the Dolphins. So it was good, nice to see that they're able to reconstruct, restructure his contract, and then on top of that, this also frees up some money for us to obviously, probably, most likely sign Javon Holland. Now, I'm still interested to see if the Dolphins do that. I've always said since day one, I don't know if the Dolphins are going to resign or are going to go ahead, yeah, basically resign Javon Holland. I've always felt that he was going to be the odd man out, and now, and this is where I want to go with you, sir. Now you have to look at what happened today, and that is, of course, Aaron Brewer, our center, getting hurt. We don't know the extent of the damages, obviously, but we know that he was brought here to be our center, and we're having issues already. And this probably, this hurts us right now, because what happens is we're now going to have to spend a little bit of money to probably get a replacement center. That's what I would do if I was management, because you don't know what you're getting with Aaron Brewer. He hasn't kind of panned out. It looks like we're missing the mark on him. And then Cat for Life said, Eichenberg just became very popular today. Exactly. So, sir, talk to me, man. Talk to me. Do you think the Miami Dolphins should go ahead and look for a center, or should we just rely on what we got, man? Eichenberg.
The the perspective of a fan would like to have a peace of mind knowing that we would have a good O line and just have good depth. Um, this is Tua's fourth center in the past 4 years, and so adding another different center, another scheme. I think I mentioned it last episode. We're just plugging and praying. We're plugging in some guy and just praying to God it works out. And I think we need to. We already re-signed big contract money to wide receivers and to quarterbacks. Just throw some on, not only on Teron Armstead, but throw it on a center, man. I think we have. That's why we made room. That's why Chris Greer found a way to kind of get some more wiggle room. And honestly, I'm with you, man. I'm hoping they get more people. I mean, I saw that they picked up a guy named Sean Harlow. He has like a couple of experience when it comes to NFL. And then they had also picked up an unrestricted draft player by the name of, if I'm not mistaken, his name is Andrew Mayer. And so they're trying to work out those two guys out, because it seems like Aaron Brewer, he has potential, but like I said, we're just praying and plugging in and praying. But honestly, how Chris Greer moves with these O-line guys, I think he really believes on Butch Berry's opinion, and if Butch Berry feels comfortable what he has now, man, hey, I mean, Isaiah Wynn is gonna be back, so maybe we make Eichenberg the true center. I've been saying it since last week that I think Eichenberg should stay at center. This isn't it would be his second year kind of working in the center role. And if Connor Williams, who was a left guard before and then got transitioned to a center, he was pretty good, I wouldn't be surprised if Eichenberg can, solidify himself as a reliable center. And in case Aaron Brewer doesn't work out.
Yeah, man, there was a lot of things that happened with this injury. I hope the Miami Dolphins are able to figure out what they want to do when it comes to this O line, because obviously you guys have been hearing off of training camp that there has been a couple of concerns when it comes to the offensive linemen, and it's what me and my brother were speaking about before we got on the show was the fact that the Miami Dolphins are starting to have a couple of injuries pile up. Now, people are saying, "Hey, Frank, don't worry about it. It's not a big issue. It's all about the Miami Dolphins. Just being cautious and all that stuff. It's nothing to worry about. But Nick, I mean, there's some guys out there that are not suiting up, and it looks like it's starting to pile up, and it's starting to become an issue for the Miami Dolphins. Um, on Tuesday, we didn't have Waddle, we didn't have Poyer, we didn't have Savak Ottman, we didn't have Barrios, Anthony Walker, Jordan Brooks, Mo Kamara, Easy E, Odell. We haven't had these guys consistently be in practice. Jordan Poyer is one that actually has missed 6, 7 practices in a row. Um, and it's starting to become, in my opinion, a concern when it comes to the Miami Dolphins, because we've always said, hey, look, injuries follow the Dolphins, right? And we've always had injuries for the Dolphins. But what I'm starting to realize is that this is, and I don't want to panic, but this is more of a older type of, or middle of the tier type of group. Okay. So you have 30-year-olds more than 20-year-olds, right? And you have a lot of players that have a lot of wear and tear. Typically, our injuries start to happen towards like the second half of the season. This year kind of feels different. This year kind of feels like, hey, we're getting a lot of injuries at the beginning of the season, which is a concern because we haven't experienced this. We tend to be healthy at the beginning of the season. So if the Dolphins, if this keeps trending, and of course, remember, Waddle was out there in sweatpants again. Poyer, we brought him in from Buffalo, assuming that he was going to be the guy opposite from Javon Holland. Braxton Berrios, a guy that, does kick returns. We had to rely on Tyreek Hill today to take kick returns. And also Achain. Achain did a couple of kick returns yesterday. So, we don't know the chemistry between Odell, and you guys know, and Nick, with me, bro. When we were criticizing Tua Tagovailoa, saying, yo, Tua, those voluntary practices, you didn't show up, man. What the hell, man? I want the serious Tua. I want the Tua that's going to come out here and win us a championship. And I don't care if they're voluntary or non-voluntary. I don't give a damn. I want you to come out there and practice. Every minute counts. And I'm hearing people say, oh, well, they're holding off on Odell. They're holding off on this guy and that guy because they're experienced. They've done it millions of times. Yeah, they've done it millions of times. But this is something that we all have always said. This is a different system. This is a system, a Mike McDaniel Tua system that is focused on spot throwing in certain sections. So when you have an Odell who doesn't know the system, right? This is his first year here. He has no previous experience with San Francisco or any of those guys from that group, that Shanahan group, and you don't have that experience with like the relationship that you might have with Tua. I don't want people then coming at me and telling me, "Oh, Frankie, you're panicking right now." I'm not panicking. I'm calling it straight down the middle, just like I was calling WWE. Dude, I don't want to hear people bitching later down the road saying, "Oh, Odell ran the wrong route and shit." Dude, this is the reason why we have workouts. This is the reason why they practice. This is the reason they do this. That way they could start gearing up for the season. I don't want and again, I know Odell's a leader. I know Odell is a veteran in the game, but I don't want stuff to happen just like Chase Edmonds. I keep saying Chase Edmonds. Chase Claypool, where Chase Claypool runs a wrong route, and then all of a sudden, everybody's pointing the blame on Chase Claypool. Okay, well, Chase Claypool made that wrong route because we picked him up towards the end of the season. We got Odell from the offseason, so there's no excuse. And if you come and you tell me, oh, let's not think about him making mistakes and stuff like that. I mean, Tyreek Hill ran around a wrong route once, and everybody got on him, but he was able to catch the football. So I'm gonna keep it very, very down the middle. I'm gonna be just the same. I'm picky on Tua. I'm gonna be picky on other players, and that concerns me when I see that a guy like Odell is sitting in the sidelines, not giving a damn. And again, this is for me. this could hurt us in the long run, especially if he doesn't develop a chemistry with Tua. There's players out there. I mean, did you see practice notes today? I'm gonna in a minute. I'm gonna tell you what one notes we have out there. But there's people are saying that there was I think there was a play where Tua threw to River Carcraft, and River Carcraft was like off, and he didn't run the route that he was supposed to, and the ball either got intercepted or almost got picked off. And this is River Carcraft, who actually has some type of connection with Tua. This is not his first season. So, like, if you're seeing this with a guy like him, an established guy that's been in the team, why don't you think it could happen with Odell? Like, that's just my opinion. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think not seeing Odell practice on a regular basis can raise a concern, not only to you, but all of us Dolphin fans. But at the end of the day, the offense still going to be ran through three people, which is Raheem Mostert, Jalen Waddle, and Tyreek Hill. Obviously, I think, Mike McDaniel's a guy who likes to really listen to his players. And if you kind of think about it, he's realized some of these guys, like you say, that are veterans already, they kind of need to be in a treatment program where they need to be fresh and ready for game one. And so right now, honestly, to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think Mike McDaniel's worried about OBJ. I think he's more worried about making sure that every other pieces are there. And once OBJ is good and ready, he feels like he's just going to plug in right there without having any interruptions. Obviously, there's going to be miscommunications throughout the game, just like in every other play. But honestly, I don't really think I wouldn't be surprised if OBJ makes an immediate impact effortlessly. And I wouldn't be surprised either if OBJ looks like trash because he hasn't played or practiced. So it can go either way. But based off on my way of seeing OBJ, I think he's going to make an immediate impact. He doesn't need to have an impactful play every down. I think he just needs to be there at the right place at the right time. And he's going to look at OBJ's strengths. And he's going to be like, look, this is the system I work in. I see the strengths that complement with my system. We're going to run these routes, and you're just going to perfect it. While, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they seem more as a play action, as a having to move from one side to the other, having to make sure that they do a deep route or a slant route. So, I think he's going to be more worried about having to make sure that Waddle and Tyreek can make the right plays and read the right read, instead of having to worry about, is OBJ going to, understand the offense? I have a hard time really, thinking that he's not going to plug in immediately, honestly.
All right. Let's go to the chat and see what they got to say. No Doubt says when it comes to the O-line, any loss is a big deal. Absolutely. Cat for Life goes ahead and says by the end of the preseason, we'll probably purge someone's roster. That's not a good thing, Cat for Life. That's not a good thing. Now, I'm hearing that Washington is looking good. He is, and that's somebody that both me and my brother are going to be looking at on Friday, because most likely we're not going to get Tua. He's not going to be playing on Friday for this preseason game against the Falcons, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to have some competition. And one of the biggest competitions out there is obviously the wide receiver,
I mean, Malik Washington's statistics are impressive, bro. Coming from Virginia, the guy is legit, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's looked good.
1,400 yards, 110 catches, 9 touchdowns.
No, and again, I want to see what he's able to do, because if he's able to crack the surface with this team, then that's something that can help the Miami Dolphins. And he would be a good pickup that we did in the draft. He wasn't a main guy out there that people were looking into. Now, let me read you some notes as far as what happened today. So when it comes to the top performers, obviously Julian Hill, he's been stepping it up. Says that he's been monster when it comes to blocking, handling opposing defenders on the run and the passing plays. It looks like what they're saying here, but he got caught one check down pass from Tua, took it up the field for a respectable gain. So he caught one check down from Tua. I think I saw that. I might show that. I think I have that on my Twitter account. The other guy that they went ahead and they said that did really well was Cam Brown. He was a late addition to the training camp roster. It says that he's pesky for the Miami's backup edge players. He's made a handful of plays on the line of scrimmage and on the backfield, and some of the guys who stock has kind of gone down a little bit was Keon Smith. He was given prime time opportunity to showcase what he's got, and he's been struggling a little bit. He seems a little bit overwhelmed by the role and struggled numerous plays on today's practice. It looks like they're stating here the Dolphins should have used that opportunity to elevate Patrick Paul because Smith's play led to a ton of left side leakage. Couple of other more takeaways that happened today. Dolphins seem to be caught up with their pants down yet again when it comes to the backup center role. With Aaron Brewer suffering a late injury on Wednesday, it was well understood that Liam Eichenberg is the team's top backup center, but he's forced to fill in for Brewer. That would stagnate his development in right guard, the position where he is holding onto a slim lead for the starting job. If Eichenberg does move over to handle center workload, the door has been open for Lester Cotton and Jack Driscoll to lock down the starting right guard role. Now, again, Nick, Lester Cotton or Jack Driscoll? Lester Cotton, talk to me about Lester Cotton. Is he was with us last year, wasn't he? I
I
believe he
think
was
he's
with
been
us
with
last.
us for about 2 years now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, starting all over with a right guard, it's a little bit concerning again. I don't like Kale and Achain out there in kicks. Too valuable. That is true. I don't agree with
I
that.
mean, our right guard, when Robert Hunt went down, it was Lester Cotton who would come in.
Okay, so maybe there isn't that much of a concern when it comes to Lester
Because you
Cotton.
remember Robert Hunt went down for a couple of games with that hamstring.
He did go down. That's why when I see Lester Cotton, it reminds me of
And I wouldn't be
it's not
surprised if they
familiar
try
that he was
to.
on.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to throw in Kendall Lamb in there, kind of fill in for the spot in case Isaiah Wynn doesn't pan out on left guard.
I mean, at this point in time, it's a little bit concerning which routes they're gonna go because this offensive line, it seems like right from the start we're gonna have plug-in guys coming in and out. Because obviously, you know that with Teron Armstead, we're probably gonna have about hopefully 8 games with him, so he's gonna miss games, and that's gonna be a concern. And then, no doubt is saying I don't like the sound of Cotton or Driscoll at right guard. I mean, we're gonna
At this point with Butch Berry, yo, that guy has pulled miracles with this O line.
yes, but there has. I remember we talked about Austin Jackson, and earlier in the camp, when the duel, going up against the Atlanta Falcons, he got beat a couple times. So it was I always said to you, I hope he doesn't kind of fall back to his old ways, because if he does fall back to those old ways, then it's only going to be another level of concern. And again, keep in mind, man, you got to realize two things. The more you keep a stable group of 5 guys there, the more cohesive they're going to work with the quarterback, with each play that they run and all that stuff. The moment you start plugging in and plugging out guys, that's where you start having misplays. That's where you start having missed blocks, and then that's when you start seeing Tua scrambling around or Tua trying to force a play and then costing us, you know, points. And that's my concern with this. The
I mean,
concerns of all this, that we're
so then
starting
what?
off in the wrong foot right now already.
So then, what do you think about uh, what's his name? Alec Ingold. What's his name? Alec Ingold.
About who?
Alec Ingold, the fullback. What is he?
Yeah.
He's our
Yeah,
extra guy.
but Nick, we've had Alec Ingle, and we still have had our woes when it comes to our offensive line. Like, it hasn't been the first time, that we've had issues. This has been something that is going on for quite some time now. So it's like I don't know what to expect when it comes to, plugging and playing. I'll tell you this, and I'm reading this off. It says
Or the tight ends, aren't they gonna block too?
true. But here's the note on Driscoll, right? Because they said if Eichenberg must play center, Miami could turn to Lester Cotton at right guard. McDaniel said Wednesday that Cotton has been phenomenal during camp. Okay. Driscoll has had snapping issues during the reps at center. So we already know that Driscoll is not a good fit. Veteran journeyman Sean Harlow and UNLV undrafted rookie Andrew Meyer also can play center. I don't know if we want to go ahead with an undrafted rookie as our starting center. Just saying. Connor Williams, the Dolphins starting center last season before a December injury. Obviously, he just signed with the Seattle Seahawks. Mike Daniels said Eichenberg deserves a chance at one spot to see where his technique can go. He hasn't had the advantage necessarily the past 2 years, but if Brewer misses time, Eichenberg might not have that luxury. Isn't he contradicting himself there, dude? Like, come on, man. Like, look what again, he says that he hasn't had the advantage necessarily the past 2 years, and then you're doing it again to him. Like, why can't the Dolphins just go ahead and solidify and say, hey, look, you know what? We're sticking with you at right guard and Meichenberg. Brewer got hurt. We have already a backup plan, and we're gonna stick to it. They don't. They don't have a backup plan. They're like, hey, look, let's get him and put him back there. So you're kind of doing him a disservice by moving him again, which is what they didn't want to do in the first place.
I mean, those are the risks you take when you have to pay big money to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I mean, and Tua Tagovailoa. You just gotta, they compensate for those type of gaps that we have concern in the O line. And I mean, as long as Tua releases the ball 2 seconds, 3 seconds from the play, I mean, I'm hoping the O line can hold on for 2, 3 seconds before the ball's already out of Tua's hands.
All right, some more Dolphin news when it comes to training camp. The Dolphins practiced against the Falcons again today, and they were without 6 receivers, so they didn't have rookie Taj Washington, who will most likely miss the whole season, so forget about him. Odell, who's physically unable to perform. Jalen Waddle, Braxton Berrios, Eric Azukama, and Anthony Schwartz. Waddle and Berrios are nursing minor injuries. That's what Mike McDaniel's saying. And he says that it's unfortunate because the numbers are low. Down to just 7 healthy receivers, the Dolphins signed former standout Mike Harley Jr. after working him out on Wednesday morning. He participated in Wednesday's practice, and he is known for being the Hurricanes' all-time leader in receptions with 188. He hasn't played in the NFL game, but has spent time with the Cleveland Browns after going undrafted in 2022. With several veterans out, Carcraft and more recently Malik Washington have seized the opportunity. Let me see any other notes. Washington, the rookie 5th-round pick, has been very productive the past 4 practices after a slow start. He made sizable gains on throws from Mike White and Skylar on Wednesday. There's a ton of nuisance within this offense you've got to be able to grasp. Washington said it's pretty hard. Braxton and River have helped me a lot. And that's what I'm talking about. When you have a rookie saying this, I know you're going to get on me, Dolphin fans, and I know you're going to get on me, Nick. But I'm going to bring it back. And I know he's a rookie, but it's a different type of offense. I don't care how veteran you are. You need to get your shit together. And I don't want to hear no excuses later down the road and saying, "Oh, he ran a wrong route, and this is his fault," and stuff like that. No. And if a rookie's saying that, just saying.
I'm just shooting for Skylar Thompson to be our second string quarterback. I don't believe in Mike White. I think Mike White is the third stringer. I think Skylar Thompson should have the opportunity to be the second stringer.
We're going to see that. We're going to find out if that actually does happen. And I think we're going to find out mostly now in the preseason. Because if you see Skylar play more this game or be called the starter in this game, then we got to take a look and see what they do in the other preseason. If they get flip them around and then try to see who's the best out of the two. I think personally Skylar deserves to be the backup to Tua. He's been doing pretty well. I've heard good things about him. I mean, he makes a little bit of mistakes here and there, but he knows the system. He's been with the Dolphins now for a minute, and I feel like he's the
3
right
years,
person.
man. 3 years.
So I don't see why not. No Doubt writes and says last year against the Broncos was the only game we had our starting 5 all year, right? Nick, was that the first? Was that the only time that we had all 5 starters? I don't.
Yes, and that's why we scored 70 points that game.
That's insane, dude. Center is more important. If Eichenberg has to move over to,
I'm telling you, man, put Liga Meichenberg. I don't care if you don't like it. Learn it.
I don't know what to tell you. All right, a couple more notes out here. Outside linebacker. Even though Jalen Phillips is running well after last November's Achilles injury, he remains in the PUP list, and it's unclear if he will play on the September 8th opener.
No
Bradley
shit.
Chubb, Bradley Chubb, who sustained a torn ACL, usually doesn't do his on-field work. Unlike Phillips, when reporters were watching practice, his return isn't considered imminent. He too remains in the PUP list. And then also rookie 5th-round edge player Mo Kamara has missed 2 practices in a row. And defensive tackle Benito Jones wasn't spotted on Wednesday. So even Benito Jones was not out there on Wednesday. When it comes to the inside linebackers, the good news is starter Jordan Brooks returned to practice on Tuesday after missing 4 sessions in a row. Also, David Locke Jr. pushing through a late July knee injury and playing very well in camp. Anthony Walker, the former Brown starter, has missed 5 sessions in a row with an undisclosed injury. Now, keep in mind, the Miami Dolphins don't have to report what the injuries are. They're not required until September the 4th. So September the 4th will be when the Miami Dolphins have to report exactly what injuries each of their players have. Jordan Poyer, safety position, has missed 6 practices in a row. Javon Holland also missing practice on Wednesday with an undisclosed injury that meant plenty of reps for second-team safeties Marcus May and Elijah Campbell and Nick Needham, who is working as a safety and a slot corner. So again, we're bringing back Nick Needham to try to be maybe considered a safety. Last couple of notes, and again, I'm just reading these off of some notes that I got from different Miami Dolphin sources. The only one who has missed significant time in 2023 is, of course, our boy, our second-round pick, Cam Smith, who missed more than a week with a lower body injury. Returned Monday and then left practice with another injury on Tuesday, and he wasn't seen today, Wednesday. In his absence, Kader Kohu and Ethan Bonner have stacked a claim to the top backup boundary jobs behind Jalen Ramsey and Kendall Fuller. Kohu is the first-team nickel cornerback. Bonner looks like more than a guy that can run, which he can. He looks like somebody that can set the edge, get a hat on the ball. To me, this is Fuller speaking. He looks like a complete football player. Of the 3 undrafted rookie corners, Jason, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, Myrtle, has had a very good camp, and Storm Duck and Isaiah Johnson made sharp plays in coverage this week against Atlanta. So those are the notes that I have as far as training camp is concerned. Nick, talk to me, man. Anything you feel positive of the Dolphins and anything that you feel negative about the Dolphins?
Positive. I'm liking that we're doing a good program when it comes to making sure our vets are taking the proper, precautionary steps into making sure that we come out, healthy for the first game of the season. I'm liking also that Mike McDaniel and what's the defensive coordinator's name right now? I drew a blank on him.
You throwing me these curveballs. I don't even remember his name.
I don't remember the defensive coordinator right now. I forgot his name.
I'll tell you right now.
I'm liking that he's mixing up players. He's making sure that everyone's getting time, getting reps. Obviously, the negative is obviously the linebacker. I think right now linebacker, it's kind of our freshest position when it comes to defense, and so is our corners. Obviously, Cam Smith is not being panned out. I'm hoping Cam Smith is a late bloomer. He has the size and the talent to be an incredible cornerback, but it all depends on how his body keeps up. I think he has a lot of potential, but hopefully he doesn't wind up as another Noah Iganavani or some other corner that we felt like had potential to pan out.
Anthony Weaver.
So Weaver's defense seems especially Calais Campbell, man. I'm really liking what Calais Campbell is bringing to that defense. I think he's giving identity, he's giving leadership, and hopefully that pans out. Only negative from the defense is obviously the linebackers. I think right now that's the freshest group. I think they should hopefully they maintain their health and they continue working together and getting that defense jot down. Offensively, I'm not worried. The only thing I was worried about was Tua not getting signed, and that's already done. We move on.
Okay. Positives on my side, I guess it would possibly be the signing of our main stars. We were able to secure Jalen Waddle. We were able to restructure um, Tyreek Hill, and obviously we were able to go ahead and extend Tua Tagovailoa.
Hell yeah.
Concerns or issues that I'm seeing, again, my biggest issue is the defense, the injuries. Well, not the defense. I mean the injuries, because yes, the defense has done a very, very good job. I've heard very good things of the defense. Second and third stringers have struggled a little bit, but we're gonna see how it's all gonna pan out on Friday once we see these guys, because there's where we're gonna find out who should make the team and who shouldn't. And obviously, this is only the first one out of the couple. Like, I think there's like one or two more preseason games after that. But yes, those are my concerns. The injuries, and they're piling up early in the season instead of piling up late in the season. And keep in mind, we do have an early bye week this season, so it's a little bit, you know, tough for me to go ahead and get my expectations high on the Dolphins, because we are a much older crowd. We're a much older team, in my opinion. When you have a lot of 30-year-olds, even though 30 is still young, but 30 in football, it starts when you start seeing kind of like them kind of diminish in their play. So that is some things. I will say this on some of the notes that I have for when Tuesday's practice. Savak Ahmed was walking on a boot. Skylar had a 15-yard pass to Willie Snead, and Skylar also had a 10-yarder to Carcraft. We'll say this as well. There was a play in which play
The
was
bomb,
it?
the 49-yard bomb.
There was a 49-yard bomber that wasn't bad at all. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Chad. What up, fellas? I'm late. I was tied up. Of course you were, sir. You're probably on a boat. And then Nye on Cap, absolutely, sir. And Cap for life, absolutely. Quentin Bell looks good. He does, man. They do look good. I'm looking at the Dolphins.
Super solid, bro.
I'm I'm looking at the Dolphins current like um roster and depth chart. And let me just make sure I could
And
pull it
guys,
up.
we do appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to hit that like button
All right, let me
and
share
hit
this.
that subscribe whenever you can. It's always a pleasure, guys. And let's see. In the meantime, while my brother Pick pulls up the depth chart. Oh,
All right, so let's talk about the depth, because this is what's going to happen against the Atlanta Falcons. So obviously, Togo Viola is not going to play. Maybe he'll play one play. I doubt I see him even suit up. So
yeah.
this is going to be a battle between Mike White and Skylar Thompson, and obviously we know Mike White and Skylar are fighting for that second spot. So we're going to see them. When it comes to Raheem Mostert, Nick, I doubt we're going to see Raheem Mostert. We're probably going to get Devon A-Chain and Jalen Wright for the most part. Maybe Jalen Wright. That's an exciting player. That's our rookie. That's one of our rookies. So I'm going to write him down just to keep an eye on him for Friday.
I'll say Chris Brooks and Jalen Wright.
If Chris Brooks is he fully recovered? I hope he's fully recovered. I think he's ready to go. When it comes to the wide receivers, obviously Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Odell. Obviously, we're not going to see Jalen Waddle, and I doubt we're going to see Odell. Those two guys haven't been practicing at all. Tyreek Hill,
Doubt it.
I you know what? I'll say you'll see Tyreek Hill maybe for like
The second game, not the first game.
I maybe you'll see him for the first drive. I think just to get his feet wet. He's the type of player who likes to go out there and really just go out. He's a team player, so I wouldn't be surprised. Braxton Berrios is obviously dealing with that injury, and then so the guys we're gonna be having to keep a look at is Vera Carcraft, Malik Washington, and Willie Snead. I mean, I heard in today's training camp that he was kind of up and down. He had some really good plays, and he had some plays where it was a little bit rough. When it comes to the tight end spot, Jonnu Smith, we're definitely gonna see him. And I think, I mean, from what we're noticing, Nick, I mean, look, if you look at it, it looks like maybe there's a very good chance that Julian Hill surpasses Durham Smythe. And maybe that battle for second tight end is gonna be where we're gonna honestly be
Yep.
looking into. Okay. Teron Armstead, I don't think he's gonna play.
No
Obviously,
shot. No shot. Hell
so
no.
we're probably gonna see Patrick Paul out there. And Aaron Brewer's hurt, so we're probably gonna see Liam Eichenberg. And then obviously the battle of the right guard, which will be either Jack Driscoll or Lester Cotton. I guess that you can't. I guess they're gonna be now the starter, in my opinion. And you got Austin Jackson and Kendall Lamb. I think you'll see Austin Jackson out there. Isaiah Wynn you'll see out there, and obviously you'll see Robert Jones. Now, on the defensive side, I do think Zach Sealer will play, but not that much. I think this is where we're gonna go ahead and see a lot of Jonathan Harris and Neville Gallimore. And then Benito Jones wasn't out there, so we probably are not gonna see him out there. We might get Tart out there. He might show up a little bit as well. And Leonard Payne Jr. I think you might see him as well. On the linebacker spots, obviously Jordan Brooks, David Long Jr. Obviously Bradley Chubb is gone, so you're probably going to see Duke Riley. I saw a note on the practice was that Duke Riley was struggling, that had a couple of misplays, wasn't doing too well. Quentin Bell, which is who Cat for Life was mentioning, we'll most likely see him out there as well.
We gotta see Chad Nintendo, bro. We gotta see Chad Nintendo, bro.
Do you think, guys in the chat, do you guys think we're gonna see Chad Nintendo out there?
If not, then get him out. There's no reason to have him there.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I've been hearing some up and down when it comes to Channing Tindall. Hopefully he, put him out
I heard
there.
Cam Brown is good.
Yes. So we'll probably see Cam Brown out there as well. Man, we'll definitely see Ethan Bonner out there. He'll definitely be out there as well.
Elijah Campbell too.
Let's and then on the safety side, Marcus May, as we told you, that's gonna be a battle. Elijah Campbell, probably because Javon Holland hasn't been playing. And then, of course, Jordan Colbert and then Nick Needham. Remember, they're testing him out on the safety route, so he's a possibility as well. And then, obviously, on the cornerbacks, you're going to have Jalen Ramsey. You think Jalen Ramsey plays out there tomorrow? I mean, on Friday?
No shot.
I think he'll play maybe the first series or the first quarter. I think he'll play the first quarter. We're not gonna get Cam Smith. You definitely see a lot.
We are gonna get Cam Smith. I think Cam Smith is gonna play out there. I think he's gonna try to kind of thug it out.
I mean, remember, I was just reading the notes. He was in and out, so it's been any in practice today. So it's looking like Cam Smith. Our hopes for him to being the replacement of Xavier Howard is not looking good. I definitely feel we're gonna be able to see this guy, the guy that we picked up from Washington, Fuller. Is that his name? Fuller? Is that his name? Yeah, Fuller. Yep. He's gonna be the guy who's gonna be side by side with Jalen Ramsey when it comes to the cornerbacks, and at least for the first half, and then I'll see what kind of rotation that they do out there. So it's gonna be an interesting game. Prediction, sir? Do you think the Dolphins will beat the Atlanta Falcons on Friday in this preseason game?
No, I don't think they will. Typically the Dolphins, especially new players that are in this new system, they don't catch it immediately, so you're gonna see a lot of errors. And I just feel like they're just testing waters, and I don't know. I just have a weird feeling that the Dolphins are not gonna really. It's going to be an entertaining game, but I don't see them winning. Honestly, I don't.
Well, just checking up on the Hard Rock app, and let's take a look and see who is the favorite. So the Atlanta Falcons are actually the favorites. They're at -155, while the Dolphins are at +125. So
will Kirk Cousins play?
You're probably going to get Penix Jr. more. I think that's who you're going to see.
Damn, we're going to see Penix Jr.?
Penix Jr. They want. I'm pretty sure they
Badass.
want. I'm pretty sure they want to show him and see what he could do
Have
for
you
the
heard
Falcons.
about him? I've heard that he hasn't been, the most
He's
accurate.
been okay. He's been okay. It hasn't been bad. No, I've heard
That's
that
not what
he's
I
been.
heard.
I heard that he's been okay. That he's had some moments and there's some times that our defense have gotten pressure on him. What I have heard a lot in training camp is that the defense has been getting in a lot of fights with the Falcons. Um, and one of the guys who I really like of the Falcons, which I've always told you guys, hey, maybe the Dolphins should go after him if he ever becomes a free agent, is Drake London. And he's been storming picking fights with the Dolphin defense. So I like the aggressiveness of that Anthony Weaver is giving our defense, and it's going to be a good look to see what he brings to the table that first preseason game. I think the defense is going to improve. My only concern is how can we stay healthy at the beginning of the season, or throughout the season, because we're not starting in the right foot. Anything else you wanted to talk about when it comes to the Miami Dolphins, sir?
Um, I kind of want to look at the other teams. Obviously, I want to check out and see how the Jets do. Does Aaron Rodgers even throw a snap? Kind of want to see what Buffalo does too with their kind of depleted team, offensively, now that they really don't have that many big pieces. I don't know if you heard, but they had asked Josh Allen, "Hey, do you miss Stephon Diggs?" And he's like, "Nah, I don't miss him." But obviously, what type of answer you're gonna get? Obviously, you're not gonna get him and say, oh man, I definitely miss him." Obviously, I would think, this is just me, but I would have thought Josh Allen would have been like, "Look, he was a great team player, and we had a good run, but obviously things happen, and now he's in one other organization, and I hope him the best luck." But he didn't really say anything like that. He really just said nah. So I still believe there was some animosity between them two, but
Of course.
that's another can of worms. But yeah, man, I'm just kind of interested in tuning in and checking out the other AFC division rivals and making sure how that all pans out. There's a lot of
Well,
football. So now there's football. There's football for like days now. Like football
yeah,
starts
so
tomorrow.
so tomorrow already we got the Lions and the Giants at
Mhm.
7 and the Panthers and the Patriots. So
Yep.
we're gonna get a look at the Patriots tomorrow. So I probably will tune in and see how the Patriots hold up, especially since they have a new coach, they have a new system in place. Friday, obviously, we got the Dolphins there, and then we got the Texans and the Steelers, and also the Eagles and the Ravens. And then the other two teams in our division, which you were talking about, play on Saturday, which is the Jets and the Commanders and the Bears and the Bills. So not too I don't know if we're gonna see that much from any of our divisional rivals, but it's a possibility. It'll be interesting to see if maybe they do allow some because I will be tuning in. We could talk about it next week and see what we saw from these teams. If there was anything that stood out from I guess whoever plays. I'm not tuned in too much as far as like if the Jets are going to play their starters. I'm assuming they're probably going to do the same thing as the Dolphins, which is kind of play their secondary guys and their third string guys in order to protect their main starters. Although I have heard that the Jets have a really really good depth when it comes to their offensive line and when it comes to their defensive line. So we just gotta wait and see. Anything else you wanted to talk about when it comes to the Dolphins or
Um,
NFL?
no, but just want to keep an updated to the followers and the viewers right now. We're season ticket holders, so we're definitely gonna bring you guys the fresh scoop of how it is to be a season member. And we're probably gonna do a little vlog and just give you the perspective that we see every game. And um, let's see how your birthday is on Friday. Maybe they give you that birthday dub.
Let's hope so. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump ship and we're gonna talk a little bit about FIU. The FIU Golden Panthers had a phenomenal type of I guess deal, a great deal that they had with Mr. 305 Pitbull. And let's show you guys the video here. Let's see if you can hear it. Let's see. So pretty straightforward there. That was the video that FIU used to promote, of course, what is the new deal between FIU and Mr. 305 Pitbull. And here are the details as far as what to expect with this new deal when it comes to FIU. So it's a 5-year deal, 6 million. Pitbull is getting naming rights to the FIU stadium. As you can see, it's now going to be called Pitbull Stadium. They're going to be able to do and sell some Volley 305 vodka. So I'm not sure if anybody's
Wow.
going to be buying that type of vodka. I don't know how many fans attend to these games of FIU, but I'm assuming if you're out there, at least you could get a little bit tipsy and get drinks. He does get 2 suites for up to 40 people, so Pitbull has plenty of space to invite friends and family. Um, he's able to use the venue for 10 days out of the year. So, if the Golden Panthers don't show up when it comes to the football, hey man, maybe Pitbull can go ahead and make some money by doing something special on those 10 days that he has. Maybe he could do a concert. Maybe he
Mhm.
could go ahead and do I don't know, bring something to the table, something very different. I don't know. Maybe you'll get something. I mean, I haven't been to an FIU Golden Panthers game, so I don't know how many fans attend there. I would have to reach out to my boy DJ M. Dot. He's actually one of the Golden Panthers DJ. He also is the DJ for the Miami Heat. I would have to reach out to him and see how some of those crowds show up when he DJs at FIU. But and shout out to M. Dot as well. Happy birthday, brother. Along with DJ Zog. Zog, happy birthday to you as well. I know a couple of you guys are having their birthdays today. And then obviously the last thing they also approved was the title. It's gonna the official entrepreneur of FIU athletics. Nick, talk to me, man. What do you think about Pitbull and this whole agreement deal with FIU?
I like it. It puts FIU on the map. Obviously, FIU is a great school. Um, but when it comes to their athletic program, it hasn't been, shining bright on a consistent basis. Obviously, there's been years where they've had good runs, but then they always find this kind of like downside, this pit. And so I think having Pitbull kind of elevate FIU to another platform helps FIU not only bring in more people, awareness of education and bringing new students, wow, look at, big people like Pitbull, ayudando, helping the community out. I think that's a smart move. But on top of that, I think it also helps have other venues come in and sponsor FIU. And I think Pitbull is Mr. Worldwide. And so having him giving FIU giving them that platform, for sure there's going to be more sponsorships that are going to follow FIU. I wouldn't even be surprised if now, I'm an FIU alumni and once a year they do a big festival for the students, and I wouldn't be surprised now if they move that festival into the stadium and they use Pitbull and he probably brings special guests and you never know. So it's just a great marketing move. It elevates FIU. Obviously FIU is not as a big athletic school like UF, and FSU, and even UCF in the past couple of years. But I really like the move. I'm a little surprised about the 305 vodka, but I guess he's trying to bring out the alumni. I guess he's trying to bring out the people who already graduated and be like, "Yo, come swing by," and maybe he's trying to give a more of an adult look into those type of games. And so I think it's a smart deal for both parties. It gives a good look for Pitbull because it just shows that he appreciates the community, he appreciates and values education, and I'm all for it.
For me, man, I've always said that Pitbull is an entrepreneur, man. That guy does so much stuff for himself and his brand. It's ridiculous, dude. That you call him Mr. Worldwide for a reason. Not only does he do Sirius XM, he has globalization. That's all Pitbull there. But now you go ahead and you have this as well, and this guy not only has done concerts and festivals and stuff like that, but he always tends to come back to Miami and show us love. And I think that's what makes him special to the Miami community. I mean, obviously we got the greats out there like Rick Ross and Uncle Luke and Trick Daddy when it comes to music artists. But Pitbull is also up there. I put him up there with those guys, and if you kind of put two and two in perspective, I think Pitbull has kind of outshined those guys when it comes to his brand. I mean, he realized that he wants to put Miami in the spotlight, and what better way than for him to go ahead and put his name on a stadium. And I know FIU is not big, but FIU has grown over the years. And I think FIU made a smart move. I mean, you're getting $6 million out of this deal. It will help their athletics. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to upgrade some of their equipment, some of their
Mhm.
training
Like
facilities that
like
they
what
have over there.
like what The Rock did with You saw how The Rock contributed a whole bunch for their new locker room and all that stuff, and that's a huge upgrade, and
And
having someone to back you up like that, that's huge.
and I hope they're able to do certain things to help, like to kind of like bring it all together. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, they're doing the 305, they're doing welcome Pitbull Stadium. I hope they come up with some creative food items, like, hey, let's do a Dale wings or Dolly wings or whatever, to kind of correlate with what the whole type of theme is. Pitbull, that's what it is. And like you said, I hope that they do start doing festivals there, or at least concerts, or even, if Pitbull wants to go ahead and make it even bigger. I mean, high schools. He could bring high schools to come and start playing in that stadium. Use that stadium. I mean, it's dead heart center of Miami. It's besides
Mhm.
that stadium, I guess Marlins Park is the other one that's dead ass right in the middle. But that one is right
Doesn't
there.
even have their own stadium.
That's true. So, like, use it. And I think FIU does a good move by going ahead and using it. Now, will there athletics get better this year? No, but maybe not. But for
The resources
future,
are coming.
for for
Mhm.
for 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 future years, I mean, this is a 5-year deal. I mean, hey, people could be like, "Oh snap! I'm playing at Pitbull Stadium." It's a good way to recruit new players for FIU. It's also a good way for FIU to get exposed out there. People will be like, "Hey, look, Pitbull Stadium and stuff." So I
I
think
just
it's a
don't like
win-win.
the name Pitbull Stadium because we're Golden Panthers, but I do like the nickname The Pit. Like, yo, you come to the pit. I wish they would have put his actual name, like Armando whatever Garcia
Uh-huh.
Stadium. That would have been nice, but Pitbull Stadium, sure, why not?
I mean, for me, man, I, I mean, whatever Pitbull wants, if you're paying $6 million, I guess you get what you want, I guess. But and as far as the vodka is concerned, yeah, it's cool that they're gonna be selling vodka. I mean, again, you're gonna get people going. Like, I would go to an FIU game. I mean, I don't see why not. If I'm free and I'm able to get some tickets, and you're an alumni, and maybe it might entice us to go more often and go check out the stadium now that Pitbull's there. And then obviously he could also do, like, he could bring special guests during the halftime show and
Mhm.
and help them out as well. Like, this is something that could work for both parties. I only see money and benefit for FIU when it comes to this. And I think for Pitbull, I think this is an achievement, man. A guy who didn't have that much growing up to all of a sudden have his name on the stadium. He mentioned it in the press conference that when he was little, he used to break into the FIU like into the FIU facilities back then and do like little things and stuff like that. And he's like, now I have my name on this, like, so
That's
it's crazy.
inspirational, dude.
Yeah, man, because he's at the end of the day, he's 305, man.
From
He's
Hialeah, bro. Guy from Hialeah, dog.
Is he from Hialeah? I thought he was from La Sabuesera. I thought he was from like Southwest 8th Street. That's what I thought. But
I thought he said he was from Hialeah, bro.
is he from Hialeah? If you guys know if he's from Hialeah, let us know. Or if he's from La Sabuesera, from
Let's
Southwest
see,
8th
let's see.
Street. Because I'm not I thought he was from Southwest 8th Street. I know that one of my friends, he was when he was in his high school, he was actually going ahead and said that Pitbull was like, he used to play, my friend Carlos, he used to play in one of, I don't remember his high school, but he used to tell me, Frankie, we used to play Pitbull's high school. So they would see Pitbull, and what he told me as well was that Pitbull has been in the game, like, when he was in high school, he was rapping and stuff. He was trying to do his thing. And if you guys remember Pitbull from back then, I'll never forget his album. It was I think it was called Man, is the one where it's his face and then it has the Cuban flag on the bottom. I gotta look at it. I was one of it, that's my favorite Pitbull album that he has. Let me see. I think it's called El Mariel. Is it called it? No, Pitbull Miami. Yeah, back in 2004. That's the MIAMI. So literally Miami, 2004. That's when I first heard about Pitbull. That's the first album I went ahead and I started listening to him. And for me was my favorite album that he had because that was the authentic Pitbull. It wasn't like the kind of like the media Pitbull, you know. I'm gonna show you guys which one it is. That way you guys can see which album I'm talking about, which is the classic one, the cool one that I like from him, which is this one right
It
here.
says that he's from Miami, so.
Okay,
But he
so
always shouts out Hialeah, so I always appreciate Pitbull with a shout out Hialeah, baby.
look at what this guy just says. Hell's freezing over Colombians, talking about a Cuban rapper. Sir, we're not. What is this nostalgia with you guys thinking that just because we're Colombians, we don't support other countries? I mean, go Cuba,
I mean,
man.
special shout out to the Cuban wrestler who won 5 straight gold medals in 5 straight Olympics. Like, come on, bro, that's an achievement. That's a crazy achievement. We're not
Hell yeah,
haters,
man.
bro. We're not haters. This is the problem. A lot of people confuse our competitiveness and passion towards hate, and we don't hate. We just like to be competitive. We like to be in the talk, and if you see it that way, hey, that's your prerogative, brother.
Yeah, man. And when it comes to the haters, there's only one big hater, and that's official DJ Memo. And I'll throw his name out there because he's always talking crap, and he's always mad at me because I'm talking crap about Argentina. But I'm sorry, sir. I'm competitive when it comes to Colombia versus Argentina. So it is what it is. No hard feelings at the end of the day. Still love Memo. Memo and me are like tight as hell. So we all joke around. And of course, Alex, you and me are tight as well. So I do support our Cuban fans. And I told you about Cuba. U23, Cuba in Gold Cup. Cuba made it to the semifinals in soccer. They lost against Mexico 2-0, but if they would have been in Mexico, they would have made the finals of the Gold Cup under 23. So I keep track. That goes to show you how much I keep track about like Cuba and other tournaments
Cuba
that
won
go
the
out
gold
there.
medal today. The wrestler.
Look at that. The
He
wrestler.
retired as a 5-time gold medalist, bro.
Look at that guy. Props to that guy, bro. And then he goes, Eso cojones, an Olympian in history of Olympics to ever win 5 Olympic medals in the same event. I mean, bro, that's props to him.
That guy is the Michael Phelps of wrestling, bro.
Well, then you know what? As a matter of fact, let's go and jump into the Olympics. There you go. To Cuba. Cuba winning some Olympic medals out there. Sir, talk to me, man. Have you been tuning in? There's actually some soccer that's gonna go down soon. Right now, you got well, not today, but you have the United States women, sir. They made it to the finals. The United States women going 1-on-1 against who are the American women going up against? I think they're going up against
Brazil.
Oh yes, of course, Brazil. We were talking about this. So the U.S. women are going up against Brazil because Brazil upset. They did what Colombia couldn't do. They beat Spain 4-2. So very good shout out for Brazil and Mata, who I thought was retired, but my brother's saying that she's still playing. So shout out to Mata. But I really think the United States got this in the bag. I mean, they've proven that they're the best team when it comes to females. And shout out to the women, man, because the women, bro, this is new. This is a whole new team with a new coach. So very, very impressed by the women soccer team. Now, when it comes to the male soccer team, that's a different story. The United States, of course, always struggle in the male side, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a championship or a gold medal game in the men's side. And of course, on the men's side, we got Spain, who probably has a very good shot at winning this. And then, of course, you have France, the actual host of the Olympics this year. So it will be
what a shocker, right? What a shocker that France is in the final.
So why are you taking shots at the Frenchies, bro? Come on, man. Why are you taking shots?
The conditions that Paris has set up for an Italian swimmer was sleeping outside of a bench because of how hot his hotel room was.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what has been going on now that the Olympics are almost coming to an end. So there has been controversy, and the controversy that has been going on is, of course, the living conditions over there in Paris, and not only the living conditions, but also like some of the stuff that they were doing. Like a while back, the triathlon, they had to go and swim, and they went ahead and they put them to swim in that disgusting river with a whole bunch of bacteria in it, and apparently they just went ahead and they allowed it. And now there's multiple athletes that were hospitalized because of that triathlon. And the river is called the Seine River, and they all like so what happened over there in Paris was that they went ahead and they were testing the waters, and they said, oh man, this is full of bacteria and stuff like that. And then 24 hours later, another guy comes in, and environmentalist comes in, like, perfect condition, they could swim through it, let them play. So
Terrible, bro. Terrible.
really bad. The living conditions, like when my brother was saying, no air conditioning and stuff like that. One of the things that the United States did was that they brought over 900 AC units to stick them into the United States rooms because their AC unit sucked. And I always told my brother, and I've told Alex, and I've told a couple people out there that I feel that this is, I know they want to be like all Earth. This is their logic, their definition as to why they wanted this whole like, hey, Earth and environmental stuff and all that stuff. But I feel like if that was the case, why don't you put the Frenchies to also live there? You know, like put them in there as well. I'm pretty sure all the French athletes were living in their homes or wherever they stayed at, so they kind of had the upper hand, which kind of sucks. But I mean, I guess it's helped them. Nick, you know, the Olympics is gonna in 4 years, the Summer Olympics is going to come here to Los Angeles, sir. Do you think we're going to run into the same situation that Paris is having, where they're not ready, they're having issues, they're having controversies? I mean, look at the whole situation at the beginning when, you know, it was Morocco versus Argentina, and then the whole situation with them calling the play and not calling it right, and then bringing them back because the fans were rushing the field and all that stuff. Do you feel that the United States, Los Angeles in particular, will be ready for the Olympics in 4 years, especially after what we just lived through with the Copa America?
Yeah, no, they'll be ready. I think, you know, the United States is a huge propaganda country, and they want to always sell, you know, that the United States is this great country, great hospitality, and great hosts for any big events, worldwide events like the Olympics, World Cup, Copa America. And so do not have no worries that the United States will have weird conditions or weird ceremonies like, you know, Paris. No offense to the Frenchies, but just weird.
To answer your question, no doubt, as far as Simone Biles, you know what, man, she recovered. I mean, you
She's
still
still
down with
playing, bro.
Biles. She did her thing. She won the gold medal. She helped the team win the gold medal. Do I still have respect for her? Sure, I'll give her a little bit of respect. I still think that her whole like issues of her mental health and all that crap was BS, but whatever. To each his own. I might be wrong. I don't believe in that. I think what happens in society a lot is that people are soft, and you know, get your shit together. that's what I do. I mean, dude, for the love of God, we do a podcast. I DJ. I have my 9 to 5 job. I mean, I do a lot. I go to the Dolphins games. I go to the Panthers games. I go to the Heat games. I mean, I do a lot of things. You don't see me going ahead and say I play soccer. I play soccer on Mondays and Thursdays. Dude, I'm doing everything or as much as I can. You don't see me breaking down, but it's a lot of stuff. But you don't see me breaking down. I may play Call of Duty. I even play Uno sometimes with my friends on PS5, especially when Mr. Alex Velasquez decides to show up. As long as it's not Hard Rock Stadium, we'll be good. Also keep local Colombians away from events. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you taking the jab again on Colombia. They did say this.
Question, sir. Will Hard Rock Stadium be fixed with the damages that happened in Copa America?
They should have already. I mean, come on, that shit should have been fixed like in like 48 hours. Stephen Ross paid for that shit. Now, my question to you is, sir, will they have signs at the entry where it says, "If you're Colombian, no entry"? Is that possible? Will they do that at the Hard Rock Stadium? That they'll put a sign saying "No entry for Colombians" for any event? Because if that happens, we're kind of screwed.
Sir, Colombian culture, being Colombian runs in my blood, but I was born here in the United States, sir.
Ah,
USA.
same, sir. Same. As a matter of fact, no doubt, if you do play Uno, yes, we do play Uno, sir. We play Uno on PS5. So if you ever want to join us, we play late though, or at least we used to. Sometimes there are some slackers out there, but if you do want to go ahead and play Uno, I'll send you my gamer tag. That way, you could hit me up and we could coordinate. And I play Call of Duty as well, so I'm a big fan of Call of Duty. Um, and FIFA. So if you ever want to play FIFA, I also play FIFA as well. Anyways, um, back to the Olympics. One last thing before we end the show. Olympic wise, it looks like in Los Angeles, I think what the United States should do, in my opinion, is they should use the sphere. I hope they use the sphere for some of those pretty cool events. It'll be pretty nice to see that. And by then, you'll also have the the Clippers arena done. So I'm pretty sure they're probably going to do some crazy stuff there. And the Las Vegas Stadium, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're going to use those venues like there's no tomorrow. I think that would be pretty cool. So I think when it comes to the Olympics, when they come back here for the summer, I think they're probably going to use more of the stuff on the West Coast more than the East Coast. But I could be wrong. I mean, there's always, I mean, MetLife Stadium, I don't know. I know Hard Rock Stadium with the whole situation that happened, but still, and then this guy, the Dallas Cowboys stadium in Arlington. That's again those guys. I'm pretty sure those stadiums are memorable, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be using that. Keep in mind, guys. One thing I gotta give the United States props is that everything is like lining up. So you had Copa America here, right? Next year, it looks like we're gonna have Gold Cup for soccer, but this time they're extending the field. So they're bringing in France, Spain, Colombia, Uruguay, Senegal, Egypt, Japan, South Korea. So they're expanding it, and they're going to have obviously a 16 teams. So that's going to happen in 2005. In 2006, the World Cup is coming to.
2025, 2026.
So yeah, Gold Cup is 2025. 2026 is the World Cup here in the United States. 2028 is the Olympics here for the Summer Olympics, and then in I believe it's 2034. It's either 2032 or 2034. We're getting the Winter Olympics coming back to Salt Lake. So hands down, the United States kicking butt. They're making sure that if you want to go see some cool sports, make your way over. So, sir, with that being said, and that would be dope if they had basketball in the sphere. I'm not gonna lie, man. That would be pretty cool. They have to have stuff in the sphere because the sphere would be badass. And that's cool. I just like that you dropped it amongst all the things you do. It was funny. Of course, sir. Uno is classic. Uno is classic. One last thing. Hey, how about us US men getting special treatment and not staying with the other Olympians? It's sad. It's said that us men's basketball are spending over 15 million over there. I didn't know about that, Alex. If that's what's happening with the U.S. men basketball, I mean, privileged, I guess you could say. Are the women getting that special treatment too? Because if they are,
If
then
Caitlin Clark was there, yeah, but she's not in
Ah!
it, so no.
our girl Caitlin Clark. Overall, man, the Olympics has been good, man. I've been tuning in. I've been watching it. Track and field was good. A little bit of a letdown when it comes to the guys. I think it was only Fink. Fink was the only guy to get a individual gold medal. So that was a little bit disappointing. But the gymnasts, Simone Biles, the guys gymnasts, they won the bronze. You know, there's been really, I mean, the girls won the rugby. They won the bronze in rugby as well. So you've had a couple of cool, like, people doing some special things this Olympics. Americans are showing out, and I'm happy for them, man. Oh, so apparently it's the men's, the women's, and the golfers. I, I don't know what to tell you, man. I guess, I mean, keep in mind those sports are like year-round sports, so I could understand why they do that. So, but anything else, or anything else you want to talk about when it comes to the Olympics?
No, sir.
Anything you want to talk about soccer?
Mampe has already been officially reported to practice. His first practice with the team was today, just because Real Madrid is getting ready to face, I forgot who it is, the winner between Copa Libertadores. I forgot who it was that won the Copa Libertadores.
Anything
And
else?
also,
And also Real Madrid beat Chelsea 2-1.
I saw that.
And Manchester City, I believe, either tied or lost against Barcelona.
There you go. And one last thing before we go, for soccer fans out there, we also have, of course, another tournament coming in, and this is for our Inter Miami squad. This is Leagues Cup. The round of 32 has been set. Um, Inter Miami is facing off against Toronto. You could see them on the lower bracket. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. There you go. There you see them right there. So, the funny part is about it is, sir, is that the controversies keep coming. Toronto won their group stage, right? But they have to play in Miami. They have to play against Miami, in Miami, and they have to play in Miami. So, so the Toronto fans were pissed. They're like, "What's the point of us going ahead and winning our group stage if we're not gonna get the advantage to begin with?" And
Because Signia and the other guy is not as big as our boy Pesci. Or should I say Inter Miami Messi?
well, Big Al here, Alex is saying right here, no Messi, they're probably losing. I mean, they've been playing pretty good. I mean, typically, when they play without Messi against an MLS team, they fairly do well. But when they play against a Mexican team, that's when they struggle. So just wanted to let you know. So there it is, the round of 32. We'll keep track of it. There is, of course, a mixture of both MLS teams and Mexican teams in this tournament. Hopefully, Inter Miami can make their way and win another tournament championship. But again, I guess our goal was to win everything. But they lost the other tournament already. They got eliminated in the other
You
tournament.
saw
So
that Marcos Royce signed to LA Galaxy.
really,
Yeah.
well, I'm telling you, man, LA is the only other squad that is willing to dish out money to like technically be competitive in MLS. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you might have the other ones probably, like Insignia that came a while back, and Columbus when they had Cucho and all that stuff, or when they brought Cucho. But the problem with a lot of these teams is that they're not going to splurge for like a guy like Messi. Miami does, at least for now. And then I can't wait. Hopefully, you know something, Nick. Check this out. For the Paris, I mean, for the Los Angeles Olympics, right? If they were to expand and go out of LA. I don't know if they are, but if they do expand, I think it would be pretty cool for them to bring some games and play them at the new Inter Miami Stadium. By then, the Inter Miami
Oh
Stadium
yeah.
would be completed, so that would be pretty cool. But I
100%.
think, because if it's Los Angeles, they're gonna focus on putting everything in Los Angeles. So
Yeah, the Rose Bowl or whatever the place is called.
yeah, a lot of those things are gonna be held there instead of just traveling and having it somewhere else. I wonder if Miami would ever be considered to do like a Summer Olympics, like. The only problem would be a hurricane or the rain that happens here. That's the only problem. But look at France. France has been, dude. They've been dealing with a lot of rain over there. They had to like postpone men's 3-on-3 basketball, which I didn't even know we had that crap. And it's,
Leonard Fournette was in that 3v3 men's basketball, but
are you
he did
serious?
not. But he did not perform well.
Wow. But that the Miami, the United States in 3-on-3 basketball, that shit sucked. They suck, bro. That wasn't that good. I wasn't a fan of that half court. They didn't even check the ball, man. They would just go and score, and then they'll run to the back of the line, of the free throw line. You got to check the ball, man. I'm sorry. Anyways, last thing, sir. What do you want to say? How can the fans and how can the viewers find you on social media?
You can follow me right here at That Way Nick on X. You can also follow me on Twitch at that Detrapio with 3 O's. I like to play EAFC, even though they keep losing licenses to so many other damn clubs. I don't even know how many times. I don't know what teams we can play at this point, but whatever. And yeah, just follow me. And let's see how this week goes out with your birthday. That's kind of like my main.
I know we're gonna get lit, baby, lit with the Miami Dolphins victory on Friday. You guys can follow me at Frankie Fresco on the YouTube channel. Obviously, we have the Let Me Talk to You podcast every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. We talk NXT. We talk a little bit about sports, usually Miami. Again, we'll go more into detail when it comes to Dolphins games because, like my brother has said, we are season ticket holders, so we typically go to those games, and we always go ahead and try to give you as much experience and show us show you guys what we typically go through on a day going to a game. As a matter of fact, just throwing it out there, that way you guys didn't know. But today we actually got confirmation that if you wanted to purchase parking passes, Jesus Christ, they raised the prices on it, Nick. Why are we not surprised? If you last year was about $40, now this year they're charging $80, and this is for parking outside of the stadium. This is not even inside the stadium, so it's even worse.
You know what's crazy? I met my good friend Michael. Remember Michael? He's the guy who I was stumbled upon. He works with the security in Dolphin Stadium. You see him from time to time. I bumped into him, and he was saying that he has a friend who pretty much is a season ticket holder too. And I told him how much I pay personally, and he's like, dude, that's what my friend pays in the 300 section. So it just comes to show you how pricey these tickets are going on for.
I mean, there was a lot of thing going on in social media where people were saying that if you wanted to go see the Miami Dolphins, the first game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, resale ticket to sit in the 300 section was going for $300. So imagine that, my friend.
It's a luxury, sir. It's a luxury at this point.
It is. It is. I mean, technically, if we wanted to make money, we could just sell them, but we're not like that. We're loyal, man. We go to all the games. And then remember what I told you. Remember what I said to you guys who tune in. If my brother and I cannot make it to a game, a lucky fan will get tickets to go see the game from our end. We're gonna do that. We'll do that this season. I don't know if we're gonna miss a game, but if we do miss a game, typically we always tend to miss a game here or there. We actually got, maybe we could, I don't know if you preseason tickets, we have preseason tickets for the following, because I think we have another preseason game here in Miami. So maybe
yes, against the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, maybe we'll give those away. I don't know if I want to go to it, but I don't know. We'll see. We could talk at it behind closed doors. We'll figure it out. But yes, don't forget to go ahead and follow us. Don't forget to go and hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share it. That way, everybody who wants to join in, and of course, we do have special guests. If you want to be a guest on our podcast, just hit me up. Just let me know. I'm more than willing to bring you on. And then, of course, don't forget our Tuesday show. I also have the Squared Circle Digest with Sean, where we speak all about wrestling, WWE, AEW, and TNA. And then that's pretty much it, man. So another episode in the books. We're moving on to episode 35. We will have to adjust in 2 weeks. I am actually heading to California, so I'm not sure in 2 weeks if we're going to have the show for that week. I have to check and see, because I'll be flying back from California to Miami that day. So I might be off. We might be off in 2 weeks, not next week, but the following week we might be off. So just letting you guys know, keeping you up to date when it comes to the show and the programming. And then if you guys want anything for us to talk about, hey man, just send us a message, send us a DM before the show starts. Like I said, we start the show every time at 8:00, or just throw your question on the chat board and we'll do our best to go ahead and answer it. All right, sir. As always, it's been a pleasure. And
yes,
until next time, let me talk to you. Episode 35 next week.
Let me talk to you.
The biggest icon in wrestling.